Welcome to season 2 of Two Girls Shooting the Shit with Em and Mo. This year, we're working on that energy. Join us as we talk midlife discoveries, spiritual awakenings, pursuing passions, reconnecting with the goddess within, and a whole bunch of other shit. Make sure to follow our socials and join us on Instagram Live Tuesday nights, YouTube Live Thursday nights. If you're looking for bonus content, episode archives, or just another way to connect with us, check us out on Patreon. Thanks for all the love and support. Now let's get to it.
I was looking back in the day, and I feel like the way I've bonded with people is almost like a stress test. And so it was like, just, be the biggest asshole I can be. And then it's like, okay, you made it through this asshole. You must be a good person. Okay, now I can be vulnerable. And it's like, how toxic is that?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, girl.
Hey, Momo.
I can't even take that seriously.
What, the little hey?
Mm-hmm.
The fake intro, the fake hello?
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Just start talking, just get into the subject. Hey, all right.
Yeah, we can do that. We don't have to do this funky funk.
Hey, girl.
Hi. Oh my gosh.
God, look at you.
That's
I forgot
terrible.
about your nose ring.
I got to get a hoop put in it.
Love it.
I think I'm ready for a hoop.
I just still got indention. I mean, you can still see the holes.
But it closes up? You've done
They
it on both
close up.
sides?
Yeah, I've done it several times.
Yeah.
Usually
sometimes
after
I see
a
you
party.
with it, and sometimes I...
Yeah.
Is it a drunk,
just an
like, hey, let's go
urge.
do this?
It's not even drunken. It's just like an impulsive, I got to go get my nose pierced. I got to do it right now. SantaCon. Got to get my nose pierced. Like in the middle of
Weird.
SantaCon. Like,
Have you
yeah.
pierced anything else before? Your
haven't-
ears are pierced.
I had my tongue pierced.
Really? Did that hurt? I feel like
no.
that one. Really?
It was a quick.
I was
quick
surprised
clip.
at how easy the nose. I mean, the nose didn't feel like anything.
Yeah, I got my tongue pierced as soon as I got 18 and got my little one tattoo that you can't even
Yeah.
see anymore.
Ooh, look
can't
at
even
you.
see it.
A little more. What's that?
You can't even see it anymore. So you never could. That was the thing. People be like, what's that?
Come a little closer. Look a little closer.
Come on, get a little closer. I think, did I have my, I know I never had my eyebrow. Did I? No, I never had my eyebrow.
I can't deal with the lip piercing.
I had the
It
top of
grosses
my
me
ear.
out.
But
that
I
one
think
hurts.
like
I don't like that.
I got sensitive skin. My skin sucks. And so
Do you keloid?
anything, it doesn't keloid, but it gets all gross. Like if I put it up here, it just gets super flaky.
Dry skin up there, maybe.
with
or
the
hair
nose,
products, maybe.
Yeah, with the nose, it gets it gets that extra tissue and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And then it's hard. It hurts to
Yeah, I
move
can't
around.
put it in, and it's like you're trying to like jiggle it,
Ugh.
finagle it in, and yeah, man. Thanks to Instagram targeted marketing, I may have found someone who does cuffs. So like their designs you can put on you just like clip them onto your nose,
Oh, okay.
and with no
Yeah.
piercing required. So
That's cute. I've got some. I don't even know where I put it, but I've got just the rings that you can clip, like kind of like a cuff, kind of. Yeah.
I think Instagram needs to do better indexing. Like each profile should have like keywords that they're allowed to enter, like 20 keywords. And that way you can search for stuff. Because now how am I going to find that? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless, hopefully they're hashtagging their stuff. But to just to
I'm sure
find
they
the
are.
main
I feel like
profile.
everybody is.
Knows cuss.
So what's
But-
good? What's going on?
I don't know. We were talking about the Ketanji Brown Jackson and stuff, and talking about how, this desire, I don't even know what it's called, this thing that exists where people just see Black women as these stones, like
Stones.
these rigid, frigid, unemotional people who are just impenetrable and capable.
Well, there's an emotion. We're allowed to be angry, right?
Yeah, angry.
We're allowed to
Yeah,
have that
hardened.
emotion.
Yeah, hardened, not soft. Like hardened, not vulnerable, like these kinds of things. And I think that
vulnerability. That's a tough
right.
one.
And it's like, I can see it. To me personally, it makes sense. It's like if you're constantly in defensive mode, how are you able to be?
Or it's a self-protection. I think when I think of vulnerability, it's scary. It's basically what vulnerability is, just opening yourself up, right?
Yeah.
It's if you think of like, yeah, you're opening, you're open for anything to happen, right? So I
is
feel
that
like
what I don't really know what it is.
well, I think about like vulnerable people, vulnerable, like just the word and the way I use it. Like it's you're open to harm or good, anything. You're just open, unprotected, vulnerable, right? And so I think for people who have,
you can die, you can,
right. That's how I'm looking at it, not in the emotional context, but just being vulnerable to the elements or to, whatever. But I think that when you've been through things or you've had, trauma, it's almost like a self-protection mode not to allow yourself to be vulnerable. You have to protect yourself. You build a wall, you create some kind of buffer between you and other people, whether it's romantic, whether it's just your day-to-day dealings. That's vulnerability is scary, especially if you've experienced some kind of trauma. Like it's terrifying. It's very scary.
Just thinking about that, like back in LA, like when we met, I didn't realize like I wouldn't have been able to articulate it, but I was definitely afraid of vulnerability in any capacity. Like I had almost this persona that was just this fake robot, like, hi, my name is Monique. Well, I didn't even,
you never said it was. Your name.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell my name.
You were not.
Hi, my name is Alias, and it's like, I don't know what I thought. And I remember this girl I met, a real cool girl. And she had let me into her house already. Like I had seen her house in the Hollywood Hills and stuff. And I didn't drive. Okay. And so she was picking, that's how I bond with people. That's
Girl, you did drive. Too. I've been in the car with you.
I drove a little bit, but like a lot of times I didn't drive.
You had a nice car too.
I had a Saturn. They don't even exist anymore.
I know, but it was so clean. Like it was it was never driven.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a nice new car.
Yep, I had my maintenance suit. I was taking care of that car. But yeah, I remember one time she would ask me questions. I was like, I don't want to talk about that, or no, like just very. And she was like, "How am I going to get to know you if you don't say anything about yourself?"
Did she say that?
Yeah,
I love it. Love that.
Yeah, that. And it's like it was the first time someone like said it. Usually people be like, I don't want to. But of course, me in the broken stage that I took it personally and never saw her again, And so, but it's like, it's so true. And that stuck with me. Obviously, I'm talking about it 20 years later. It's how is somebody going to get to know you if you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable like that? And I don't know. I think in maybe 2010, I started using my real name. Hey, that's over a decade.
That's a whole nother level of inability to be vulnerable when you're not even using your name.
People really started to think I was some kind of like law enforcement or something, detective, or like people were always like,
you're an agent.
I knew I wasn't that, but it's like they thought I was something, because they're always like, what is, looking back, that's, if I can't tell you my name, how am I get any closer to you? Like, how am I going to have relationships or anything like that? I can't say my name. I don't know. I think I was able to bond with you because of the workspace. So I'm my real self. Like,
you were stuck
but even at work, like I had my banter with you, but everybody else was kind of like, hi Bob, hi Grace.
And I just saw it as like, you were so professional. I was like, she is so professional. I'm sitting up here telling everybody all my business, right? Doing all stuff. I had somebody praying and laying hands on me. That's how I was at work. Okay. People knew all my stuff.
Right. And I was just like not sharing anything and stuff. And then we hired a couple of people and just became like friends with them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that kind of changed my demeanor a little bit, because it's like,
did you feel safe? What it was? You felt safe to be vulnerable. Like we weren't going to take information and use it or hurt you in some way. Yeah.
And y'all were out of control. I think it's just y'all were so out of control. I was like, I ain't got nothing on.
Me out of control.
Well, for me, I wasn't out here doing anything. Like my wine and ice cream was like the height of my
ground turkey and spinach and a gallon of ice cream.
I think I was just like, okay, these people wilding, and they, like, well, no, I don't mean, I'm making it sound worse, but it's just people living.
I don't know
life.
what she's talking about, y'all. I don't know what
people
she's
living life
about.
doing themselves, and I felt like, oh, okay, I can let my guard down and be myself too. And now that's why I love the culture now, because I think it is embracing vulnerability, though people see it as a sign of weakness. And then with the cancel culture, like, how do you balance that out? How do you balance opening yourself up and the consequences that may arise from it, because vulnerability, and if you go hunting and you're a vulnerable prey, you're going to get killed.
I think that's the scary, that's the whole part of it. I think is being vulnerable means you're opening up and hoping somebody accepts it. And that maybe that's a little codependent. I don't know, but
right. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, humans are just codependent. There's no,
but you're showing yourself, right? This is who I am. I happen to like myself. Do you like, and I think that's what it is. And if you open yourself up and people don't like it, that's hurtful.
Oh, you know, I'm going to cry. Your vulnerability is what attracted me to you. Like, you were so vulnerable, like as a friend, like it attracted me to you as a person and like made me feel safe. Because it was like because I showed you mine before you were able to. No, I felt like you felt comfortable enough with me to share. But, oh no, then I saw you just sharing with everybody. But yeah, I didn't know at the time.
I'm sharing everything with everybody.
But I was like, you were comfortable to, share a part of yourself and let me get to know who you were as a person. And that made me feel like, okay, she trusts me. Like, I don't know why she trusts me, but then it made me like,
I don't know why.
It made me, I was like, I didn't do anything. I didn't prove myself. Like, this is proving.
Well, what is it? That's
I don't know.
What do you need to prove
exactly.
Other than you're a caring friend? You're there for it. Like, I mean, I wonder about that. Like, do you feel now that you have a hard time being vulnerable with new people you encounter? And if so, what do you feel they need to show you for you to be vulnerable?
I don't know. Like, I feel like I am more open, but I don't know if I can ever be vulnerable. And that's a scary thing. And it's like, I'm just discovering this because it's like, it is a risk. And they say what the quality or vulnerability is the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. And I keep telling myself, like, what's the worst thing going to happen? My ego is going to get bruised if new people don't like me. Like, that's the worst thing that's going to happen. I'm not going to lose.
But your mind knows. Your mind knows not everybody likes everybody.
Yeah.
But I feel it's the heart. It's
the ego. That's what I'm saying. It's the
ego. Because you don't don't like everybody. So that's just normal life. Yeah. It's not personal. It's just, hey, we're not about.
And I think that's what it, and I think that like the way I shut down on you that time, because I felt like, oh, see, I knew it was going to happen. She turned her back on me. I'm never talking to her again. Like, that's how dramatic I was, and it's just crazy. And it says Brene Brown, who's like the vulnerability guru from Texas. Hey, boo. I mean, wait, boo. I was kidding. She said, vacillating between I am here and I love you. And I'm going to reveal my innermost to you. And I'm scared to death that you'll reject me. And that's how she describes vulnerability. I was like, that's interesting. Cause it's true. It's like, I don't know how I got here with all of you, like being able to be so open and I mean, we might be too open, but it's just
no such thing.
But it's just like, what is it? Is it like low stake? Like, it's not low stakes, because like I would be devastated if I lost you as a friend.
Stop it.
But I didn't feel that. I mean, I think I felt that way before, and so it was like a protective kind of thing,
But maybe it's an understanding that. Well, I mean, I think there's different levels. I mean, at the point we are at now,
yeah,
I don't have, and if something were to, I mean, it would be terrible, but it would have to be something. I mean, I don't know what it could be.
Right. I can't imagine. Yeah.
But I think it's different. I think it's different with friendships. It's different with family. It's different with romantic relationships. But I think anytime you open yourself up to somebody new, you are saying like, I hope you won't reject this. This is because rejection sucks. I mean, we talk about codependency, we talk about loving yourself and all this stuff, but it doesn't matter how positive and how whatever you are. It sucks when someone's like, I don't want that. It just
ain't
sucks.
For me. And I thought about this because like academically, I can't process it. It's like, why would I even care? Like, why would anyone even care? You're not going to die. You're not out here prey. You're going to keep moving and keep living your life. It's the ego. But I think also it's that, imprinting that we have from back in those days. If you're rejected by the tribe, you're not safe. Then you are really vulnerable. You are out here like ready to be eaten up by whatever comes out there. And so it's like, I think that's the thing. And I think that's why anxiety is a thing. And I think that's the thing, because in our minds, even though we know it's irrational and not true, it's like you will die. even you're not going to die, but it's like something in your, like that happened to somebody back in the day. And that's
it's an injury.
COVID.
It'll still form some sort of a injury to you, to your ego, to whatever, to be rejected. And I so that's, like it's easier not to. It's easier to just kind of build the wall and give little bits, but not just open up.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It's hard.
I think for men, I mean, just, we always talk about things in terms of race, but I think also by gender, there, you know, there's a socialization that goes on. And I think that vulnerability for men, especially in a romantic setting, goes against everything that they've been groomed to be. You know what I mean? They've been groomed to be strong. You know, they don't show emotion. It's that toxic masculinity type stuff.
And this is the United States we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anywhere else or whatever, but I think that may be why it's so difficult for men to open up and be vulnerable, completely vulnerable, because they were told not to. They were raised not to. Even like in friendships, male friendships, a lot of times you'll see it's not deep. A lot of times, from what I've seen, I mean, they may have moments when they have, you know, they're there for each other, but they're not having a conversation like this. They're not talking about their feelings and stuff, you know,
unless it's a podcast.
It's different. It's a different, I mean, depth. They may still be committed to their friendship and still be tight, but they're not talking
about. There's a safety in that. There's a safety in that, keeping that
they're bros.
Layer. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I like you as a person. We don't need to get deep, you know.
Yeah, you don't gotta tell me all the feeling stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And a lot of people like turn their like nose up to vulnerability and things like that. People who are more open and things like that. Because they feel like that's a weak position, because
it is.
It's just like,
right? Okay. I mean, it is.
As long as you're not taking away a check, then that's when it gets then I am vulnerable.
My coins.
Don't mess with my coin. That's all I gotta say. Say what you want.
Ain't that some shit? I said, ain't that some shit? Oh, ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? Goddamn.
Just like we discussed, vulnerability does have a level of weakness. That's just the inherent nature of being vulnerable, is to be weak, to open up yourself, to say, I do not have any control, and I'm okay with that. And that's a very scary line to walk. And also, there's a fine line between being vulnerable and being a goddamn fool. So I think you need to always have your due diligence, always trust your gut, and always listen to your senses, because yes, vulnerability is key to advancing your life, because you're letting go of the need to control. But also, use your judgment, people. Stay woke in these streets. Yeah, but the ego does seek to protect itself. And I was looking back in the day, and I feel like the way I've bonded with people is almost like a stress test. And so it was like, just, you know, be the biggest asshole I can be. And then it's like, okay, you made it through this asshole. You must be a good person. Okay, now I can be vulnerable. And it's like, how toxic is that?
Oh my gosh. You weed through the superficial.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weeding out. John Cusack has a great scene on Must Love Dogs. And my boo. John
Cusack.
Yeah, and I forgot what he said, but it was something along the lines of, let's just get it all out here. Let me tell you the worst thing. Like, let's just get the worst out, because I think it's always like, you don't know, you know, like what's going to be the straw that Must Love Dogs?
No, but like, hey, if you and I met each other and we're like, hey, let's just get the worst out. What am I telling you? Like, what do you mean get the worst out? Like, this is just what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know what that is. I'm sure there's some stuff that, you know, but what is that? Like, I feel like that's stuff that takes time.
Oh, that might be interesting to do. That's shadow work. I definitely highly recommend it.
The worst of me?
Yeah, to learn the worst, to learn your shadow side. It does that. I mean, that's putting a.
I mean, I know what my issues are. Is that the worst of me, or that's just me? Like, the word
just something that you wouldn't
getting me.
Okay, like, so Chris Rock has a joke, and he talks about like when people initially start dating, they send their representative, And you don't really get to know who the real person is.
Yeah,
That's with
you
anything.
got the push-up bra and the makeup and the hair and the nails.
Things, like all these kind of different things we do in life. When we're initially meeting people, we send a representative typically. With John Cusack was saying, send the person behind the representative.
Let me show you the ugly.
Let me show you the ugly, like
the real.
What are you not going to like? And that's what I'm saying. It's just the real. Like it's me being this right now versus that robot that I was, 20 years ago.
But my question is, I guess, because I know what my issues are. I know what may irritate people, whatever. But when you say, and I don't know if this is like an age thing, because I see this in you too, because you're talking about how 20 years ago, this is what you would do, whatever. But now I don't know that. I think as you get older, maybe there aren't two very different people.
There aren't. No, for me,
this is who it is. And so when you say, let me tell you the bad about me, it's like,
because a lot of people still operate like that. A lot of people operate on this fake, let me present something to you I think you like and sell you.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm not. Tricked ya! I think that's why I'm having a hard time where I'm at right now, is because I don't have that representative anymore. And I'm meeting a lot of representatives, and I'm just like, where's I'm too tired to do that.
And my thing is, I don't have the patience. So it's like, that's why I struggle with meeting new people, because so many people have this fake persona, and it's just like, I don't have time. I'm not here to please. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to impress you. I'm just here to be myself. If you don't like it, go. If you don't like it, that's fine. Like, I don't need to impress you. And I feel like you go to these different events and stuff like that, people are trying to, impress or be impressed, like, oh, what kind of music? Well, this is what I like. Oh God, that it's like, yeah, that's me. That's food,
you asked.
This is what I'm putting. We're just engaging. It's more like, getting to know people is hard, because everybody's out there sending their representatives, and you can tell. And I think a lot of times people don't know you can tell when they're doing that. And it's just like, dude, bitch, you fake, girl, get out my face. Ain't got time.
Or just like, I feel like at this point in my life, when I'm meeting people and I'm looking for friends, in a new place that I may have moved or whatever, it's not an interview. I just want to know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, do you like this? What do you tell me?
Yes.
Impress me.
What do you do?
Care.
Yeah.
Can we sit down and talk real quick? Like, that's what
I
noticed. Can we get there?
Yeah, exactly. The people I've bonded with, we just start shooting the shit. Like, it's nothing to do. It's not these transactional. Where are you? It's like more like, oh my God, did you see this? Blah blah blah. I can't believe. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't need your resume. I don't need your stats. I don't need that stuff. Like, can we just have a conversation?
And it's not normal. I remember I was talking to someone, and they were like, whoa, this got deep. And, they weren't used to like just talking. Like,
that's funny.
I was like, that's me.
Now I'm telling you my childhood trauma. How did this happen?
Right? People love to do that. I'm like, hey, I should be paid, but yeah.
I don't know. That's what I guess as I'm moving again, I moved here from a place where I finally was developing that. And now I'm moving again, here I didn't feel, I maybe made one or two connections and it was still strained. I just want to move somewhere where it's natural and I meet people, and hey, like, feel free to just text me, call me. We can let's meet and have coffee. I haven't seen you in a while, like that kind of a thing where
that's normal, without any like
normal,
like normal ass people. Yeah,
right. I just it's been a struggle here to do that, and I don't know if that's me. Because I see other people hanging out. So I'm like, is it me?
But you just don't want the energy. It's not vibing with you. That's all it is.
But I think that speaks to the vulnerability too, because I don't think that I have felt comfortable just being me here. Does that because there's always a sizing up that I don't want to participate in, but I'm in because that's what it is here. So and it's I don't want that anymore.
And you're not enjoying the company of that, because you can be in it if you wanted to, but it's like, if you're not young or like a kid where you like have to, like, we a lot of times do things we don't really want to, or hang around people we don't like because we just that's what you do. But no, it's like, now we're a little more discerning when it comes to meeting people and where we spend our time.
Yeah, or just the comfort. I think especially with the pandemic and being at home, I'm comfortable at home. You know what I mean? Same. Like, so if we're going to interact, I got to be just as comfortable in your presence or whatever. Like, or if you want to pop, I'm very chill usually about like, hey, if you're a neighbor or a friend who lives down the street, come on over, just It's
Can
very
you
rare.
imagine if we lived down the street?
Oh, I would love that. It's
cry.
very rare that I would need announcements like, oh, can I come over real quick to do, like, no, I would be so happy to see anybody at my front step, but don't judge me.
You better text or something.
Well, well, no, I don't have that many friends. First of all, it would just be one or two people who I know here who would do that.
Oh yeah.
Either of them, I don't,
I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't
I'm
care.
around the corner. Yeah.
But then don't judge if I open the door and I'm in my jammies, because that's just how this is. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. It's just the comfort of being me fully. And I guess that's the vulnerability, comfort and vulnerability together. Don't go together. I feel like you can't be comfortable and vulnerable. And that's the dream, is to be able to open
and if
yourself
you
up
can
and
be like, how?
That's it.
You talked about
that's what you want.
You talked about moving.
Yeah.
And it made me think about LA, the LA boo, and how it was like right before I was leaving, I went to this a party, and it was like all these cute Asian girls, and I was just like, I'm just here to have fun, gonna sing, have some fun, have some drinks and stuff. And this guy comes up and offers a drink to me and my friend. And so I get up and leave because I'm like, okay, he's obviously not talking to me.
Oh,
so I'm gonna go.
Damn. That hurts me. That makes me sad.
It makes me sad too. I mean, not really. It's funny to me, but
like you disqualified yourself from the situation.
Yeah, I disqualified myself, and I just got up and left. And I feel like that's been a theme, like getting up and leaving. But I got up and left, went to the bathroom. I came back, he was still there. And like, he was like, why did you leave? He wanted to talk to you, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
and we ended up dating for like, what was that? Like 1 or 2 months or something like that before I moved. Like, that was so cute. And he was so sweet. And when I moved, he sent me like, this was MySpace day or something. He sent me on MySpace that was like, just like singing my praises. I was like, because he got to see the real me. Like he got to, I had nothing to lose.
And you almost threw that away. Like you almost removed yourself from it.
And I'm so glad that I got to, even though it was brief, I'm so glad I got to experience.
You always talk about that very fondly. Every time you speak about it, you're like very, like your face lights up.
I forgot, like I actually forgot about it. And, but yeah, like, and I think, and it's like that vacation syndrome kind of thing. It's like, I knew I had nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. I'm moving. Like, I'm not going to see you.
It's
I'm
a
never
fearlessness.
See you again. Yeah.
That's what you need. And you know what? If you think about it in the way you're always talking about, beam me up, like it could happen any day. Mm-hmm. So what is there to lose?
Exactly.
You may not be here tomorrow.
Right.
So open it up.
But that's what I look at. And I think that I didn't know how to be vulnerable. So all that moving was the vulnerability. It was like, I can be someone else here. I can be like here. And then
you can recreate yourself.
Yeah. New York was just like the perfect place because it's like, I can really be myself. Like, and then I just stopped caring. And it was like, I can be myself wherever I go. And it levels you up.
I love
like,
that. Yeah.
Actually to be yourself. Like, I don't know why I was afraid. I'm so sorry, everyone. I didn't get to share myself as a kid.
You missed out on this.
I don't know why I was afraid, but it's like that authenticity. And of course you're not for everybody, but you find your people. And so you're not like sitting around people you don't like and just being uncomfortable. It's like, you find your people. And I think that's the most
plus
beautiful
to
thing
it.
about it.
Yeah. If you open yourself up and and other people are able to do the same, you can really, you can figure out like, this is it, this works. Mm-hmm. And you can find your people that way. Maybe that's my bad. Maybe I haven't opened myself up here to feel like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not very social. So that's probably part of it. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be at events and do all this and organize play dates. And I'm not trying to do that. My poor children.
They're moving anyway. Don't get them attached.
Yeah. Oh, but that's something to be mindful of as I move to the next place, is to put myself out there more. That's one thing that you do that I'm like, wow, I wish I could be more like that. Like you put yourself out there. You do go to events,
you don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. You don't. You have a whole family. Like you have plenty of things to occupy your time.
I think it's that protection though. Mm-hmm. I can use them as a buffer. I can't go to that. I'm sorry. I've got 3 kids at home. I got to do that. Instead of just living.
I was going to
try to fully experience.
What's the hesitation? Like, is it a fear of judgment? Like, what's the hesitation with these people? Do you feel like you're not good enough or like you're not going to say the right thing? Like, I'm curious.
I don't want to say blanket statements about everybody because everybody I've met obviously is different. And so, but there's just I'm immediately turned off if there's conversations involving money.
Yes, same.
We live in an area where everybody who lives here must be successful financially to live here. That's just what it is. So I don't see the point in talking about lavish trips you've taken, unless that's just what people
Sword
do.
fights.
Yeah,
it is
and
what
I
people
don't participate.
do. Yeah.
I don't participate in that. You know, like, oh, I went to this super fancy restaurant for my and it's just kind of like, okay, well, I'm good going to Fuddruckers. Like, you know, Sean and I are Sizzlers people. Like, you know what I mean? We could go.
Yeah, I
to
try
a
to look at
fancy
the
restaurant.
intent behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like,
are you trying to flex or are you trying to share an experience? Because I notice sometimes I'll be talking about stuff and people are like, you're bragging. I'm like, I'm literally just telling a story about my life. Like, I'm not bragging at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, but I don't place value in those types of things. Like, I'm very simple, and it doesn't matter how much success or money or whatever our family amasses. I am still going to be at, you know, Target, and I'm still going to be eating at McDonald's. Like, this is just who I am. Like, I'm not, there's no, you know, and so to be around people who are flexing, you know, like with their cars, with their whatever's, like
education and stuff. Yeah, I've been around those kind of people. They are trying.
But it's just, I don't, and part of me, I guess, because I'm not used to being in this environment, is I don't know if that's just the culture of this is, we talk about our things, we talk about our vacations, we talk about, like, I don't know,
because we're real people. Like we were saying, you had just met one of my friends and got real deep. It was like the first day y'all met, and it's just like, that's just how it is. You just get deep. Like, when you're authentic, it's not, oh, you know, oh my God, what kind of car do you drive? Like, what's your resume? Like, as soon as you, I don't know if it's a protected, I guess that's my vulnerability.
They're not asking questions. And then maybe that's another piece, is nobody's asking questions about me.
Oh.
And maybe that's just dawning on me.
That's dehumanizing.
Nobody's asking questions about me. They are telling me about their things. Where they went to school, where they went to grad school. Like, and it's, am I supposed to offer that up to you? Because I don't talk about myself in that way. Like, I don't, I really think Sean and I are very low. Like, we had somebody say once, ask something. And I was like, oh, well, you know, Sean and I are both attorneys and we're trying to figure out. And I just dropped, I'd never say that. And she was like, what? You guys don't look like attorneys. And
like, what does an attorney look like?
I don't know, but we're very, Sean and I are like sweatpant people.
Y'all could be a rural lawyer, whatever they call it, a country lawyer.
But just the way we present, the way we, you know, we're comfort. We're about basketball
shorts. Y'all
look
rich to me. That's how that's rich. That's real rich.
I don't know, but it's, you know, I'm not interested in having a Peloton or there's certain status things that we don't do. Cars, we have old cars. So, you know, like,
cars depreciate and
they're paid off. We don't have car payments. So that's good. You know, I'm not going to go get a new car just to have a car payment.
Yeah. But if they, I mean, like, I guess I wonder what the significance is. If they want to do that, that's fine.
That's fine.
Like, I don't care. Yeah.
But it doesn't match what I'm doing.
It doesn't match you.
It's a different, you know, and I'm not making a judgment, even though it feels like, or it sounds like to me in my head that I am, but it's just not something that I fit into. Like,
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. You can feel it in your bones. And for me, I completely shut down. And it's so, I've learned to better control it. I usually will just exit the situation if possible. But I try not to engage in that kind of exchange because it's just superficial. It's a waste of my time. It's not going anywhere.
Or self-promoting. I guess that's the thing. I don't do that a lot. I'm very self-deprecating. So I'm on the other end of the spectrum. And so it makes me uncomfortable because I don't promote myself in that way.
Same. We get called humble a lot. And I guess, let's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, I'm not that kind of person going to sit here gassing myself. Like, I don't need to, but I've proved myself to anybody.
But then nobody knows who I am. And so it's
or
like,
they learn it
by
people
for, you know.
Well, they never asked you a question, like you said. So,
well, yeah. That's really weird because I'm just realizing that, like, that I'm thinking of very specific encounters I've had with groups of people when I've met them for the first time. And there wasn't a lot of interest in who I was. So
disrespectful. I wonder why. You think it's because you're black?
To be back. I'm fine. I wouldn't say that, although I am usually the only in any of these groups. But I feel like in this area, it's celebrated a bit much, or performatively celebrated.
I was gonna say, okay, yeah.
Black Lives Matter signs in the yards and all of that kind of stuff. But then when it's a group setting, I still feel, and I don't know if it's, this is why I'm very introspective about this. I don't know if it's me.
Yeah, you're like social anxiety.
Or projecting something on these people who have no idea that,
that's when I hit the bar. I'm like, I'm gonna drink all y'all drinks though. Thank you.
Well, a lot of these are surrounding like children's activities or at the school. So it's not like I can just
I'll be drinking all y'all drinks.
I do a little something. I do a little something. Eat a little candy or something.
Woosah.
Yep. So I don't know, but it's vulnerability. I think it takes a lot of self-awareness to deal with the idea of vulnerability.
Yeah,
and I think that's something it's always a work in progress, maybe.
I do it, and I do it afraid. Like, that's what I'll say. Ooh. Like, yeah.
You said that before. I'm gonna do it afraid. Where have you said
that? It's definitely scary in life. I mean, I wake up every day. I don't want to, but you got to do it. And so, like, it's scary to be vulnerable. It's something you have to do. But it causes so significant anxiety a lot of times for me personally. And just because there's an unknown, you never know. And it's just like, there's no consequence, really. There's no consequence. You're not going to lose anything in being vulnerable. If you're living a truthful, kind life, you should be okay. And so it's like, what's the fear?
And there's so much to gain from being vulnerable. I mean, real, true relationships, deep friendships, a sense of belonging, a sense of acceptance, which it is part of life, right? Is feeling like you belong in some kind of a group, tribe, whatever you want to call it, pack. But it's also that risk of being open to attack or harm, right? So it's scary.
It's a stake. Like, that's what I say, it's stakes. And that's how I know. It's like when the vulnerability has a fear attached to it, then I know I've put a stake in something. Like, I know I've put a stake, and it's like,
and you know that it matters, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way to judge whether or not something matters enough to you, is if you're willing to face that fear, to pursue it.
Yeah. Like I said, like that LA, like if I weren't moving,
LA boo. Ooh,
that would
y'all have all these little babies running around.
if I weren't moving, I probably would have been so nervous and afraid, and because I'd be probably thinking 20 steps ahead versus being in the present.
Whatever happened to that? It was just like, see you later. I'm moving.
Yeah, I moved, and he sent me that message like
after
I
moved. HR manager's fault. I'm mad.
Right? I'm mad that too. I had rights. I could have been
I had rights. Girl, you stay having rights, okay?
FMLA. I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at you too, because you knew and you didn't.
Did I? Yeah, I was having my own circumstance, girl.
I don't think we knew at the time. Yeah. It's just like, and they give you a paper. I don't think I read it. So it's my fault.
Left. Did you leave? You left before me.
I left before, and the reasoning was for family medical, but I was like, I'm just going to get another job and work part-time. Like, all I had to do was just leave, and I could have come right back.
Yeah.
I would have gotten paid. Like,
and nobody advised you of that. I think low key, I think they were trying to get rid of us anyways. They were tired of our shit.
They're like, yay, you're leaving, get out.
there was no attempt to try to keep me know that. So no, there was no questioning as to why, or no. See ya. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good for you. They were like, goodbye. Did they make, oh, never mind. You can't really talk about that. Like, did they make you sign something? Because
no,
you could have had a case.
I got paid a month out. They said, don't give 2 weeks notice, give a month's notice. Because they have to pay you for your notice period. And then I just went home with a month's check. Kicked it on the beach for a minute.
Right?
Trying to figure my life out. Everything fell apart at home for me at that time too. So I was like, dang, I gotta find a new apartment. I broke up with the boo.
Talk about vulnerability, dang.
Yes. But that was the best times.
Yeah,
got my own place, got my own.
I had FOMO. I was like, dang, I missed out. Your boo had you not doing stuff anymore. Well, not with me at least. And I was like, dang, missed out.
Whatever.
Somebody for everybody except Mo. Just kidding. Oh man. But I would say that those are like being around people like you and them, like it just helped me to become more vulnerable, because I was like, okay, I'm just living life. Like I think I had such a weird upbringing that I had this almost get in trouble mentality. Like, I can't be myself or I'm going to get in trouble.
Did you feel that way as a child?
Oh yeah, definitely. I like
Like,
for me, like everything was transactional. So, if you're not getting
good
a good grade
grades.
or different things like that, then you're useless. So it was kind of like I didn't have that kind of support that, and I mean I had obviously materials things and like not that compassion and like
I feel
that
like
kind of
that's
emotional
something
support.
that's different today in parenting, because I don't feel
Mhm.
like that was a big part of anybody's. I mean,
Tiger mom
not that I
thing
knew
kind of thing. Yeah,
about.
it's kind of common. Yeah.
It was a give me something to brag about you for,
Yeah.
make me look good.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't about how are you feeling today? It was none of
Yeah.
that. I don't think I was ever asked that question.
You are kind. You are intelligent.
And here I am giving my kid affirmations and
I love that.
asking him about, but it's almost like, am I swinging the pendulum too far? Do you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Am I parenting the way I needed to be parented?
Mm-hmm.
What was lacking,
I think that's what happens.
As opposed to the balance in the middle.
How is it that I'm always saying beam me up and want kids? Those things don't fly, but it's like the kids you're going to make sure that you're responsible for them having a better life.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of control the circumstances to a certain extent, because you can't control everything, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's almost like that chance to make a better human being and contribute to society, because people don't know how to act. Oh,
I think it's one of two. It's either you raise your kids exactly the way your parents raised you. Hey, it worked for me, got beaten, got whatever, so I'm gonna do it to you, that mentality. Or you do it the complete opposite, because you don't want them to have whatever trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's got to be a happy middle, because I think
there probably is. Then
maybe you do the complete opposite, and then those kids don't have the structure or the discipline, self-discipline, whatever that you learned from your situation. It's a mind fuck. It really is, because you want to do the best and you don't know what that is, so you just do.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
That's all you can do. I mean, you just want the best. And I think like that's why I say we can't really fault our parents and think it was a different time.
Yeah,
they did the best they can do, and that's what they knew. It's a different life. It's a different time now, and there's always going to be something. Believe me, your kids are going to have something to say.
Yeah,
when they grow up. That's just
I already know.
Life. That's life.
I just hope it's not serious enough for them to hate me. That's
all. God, no. Yeah, I would hope not. But yeah, it's just crazy. Just let them be vulnerable, girl. Let them be vulnerable.
I'm trying to create a safe space. I mean, yesterday there was a situation where something happened at school, and I was asking my daughter, what happened? I don't want to, and this is me when I'm emotional. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. So she did that, and I was just like, no, tell me so I can make it better. She's like, I don't want to talk about it. And she was crying, and I started crying. It was a whole thing.
Adorable.
But it's.
I mean, not adorable.
I see now, and this is like, I don't even know if this is making the episode ever, but I see now the times that my mom got emotional and she was upset when I shut her out, because I was like, I don't want to tell you. I'm not gonna, because I would get in trouble probably, because.
Yeah, get in trouble. See, that's what we were talking about.
So I didn't share a lot, and I wasn't
vulnerability
open.
Equals getting in trouble. That's what I was saying.
So I wasn't open, I wasn't honest, I wasn't whatever. And so there were times where I would be upset, probably over some boy stuff or whatever, and I'd be upset and she couldn't help me. And as a mom now, I see she wanted to help. She probably didn't know how. We weren't very touchy-feely and that kind of a thing, but now I see I want to help, but I'm being shut out. And that's what I've taught her through my actions, probably, is to deal with it on your own kind of thing. Because she's very much like I need private time. Like, we lost our basketball tournament, we placed second. It was a very close game. She was upset. All the girls were crying. I was getting emotional because my girls were crying, and she went off and sat on the bench, and she said, I just need to be alone. And that's just the way she did it. Meanwhile, all the girls were crying with each other. And I understood that. That's how I am. I need to process. I don't need all these other emotions messing with my process, right? So I was kind of proud of her for that. But
got you a judge or something over here. I don't know what you got.
I was proud of that. I mean, she knows what she needs to do to handle a situation. But I also want, now come back. You're part of a group. We need to.
And it's okay to be vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just all these lessons. It's weird because I'm seeing them through a different lens as a parent. The things that I do that she's picking up on. It's weird.
That's fun. That's interesting. Yeah.
I gotta pee.
All right, girl. Well, happy
Yep.
peeing.
Okay. All right.
All
Well, I
right, love
guess,
you.
go be vulnerable or whatever.
I'll try. I'll do it afraid.
Love you too.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Two Girls Shooting the Shit with Em and Mo. Please enjoy this mindful moment. Vulnerability. Sounds like truth and feels like courage. Truth and courage aren't always comfortable, but they're never weakness.